Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to This Just In. Thank you for joining me today. In this video, I'm going to give you an update on Xpeng. They just got an upgrade and an increased price target, so I wanted to give you my thoughts on that and where I see it going for the rest of the year. Also wanted to go over the Tesla trade that I sent out a few weeks back and let you know what I'm doing. It has hit all three targets, so I want to give you an idea of my plan, moving forward. So let's jump right in. All right, guys, before we get started today, subscribe to the channel for me. Hit that little bell so you get notified every time I post. There's also a link down in the top pinned comment to my Patreon account. Come over and join the family. We've got an awesome community over there. We've got a few more spots down on that $10 tier. The price is going to be going up, guys. It's just, there's too much value over there. You'll get access to the private Discord where we talk stocks. You'll get links to my portfolio. Anytime I buy or sell a stock for high conviction, long-term fundamental analysis plays, but more importantly, all of my swing trade setups, the ones that are on my watch list, the ones that I take, my profit taking levels, everything like that, that I'm doing when it comes to buying and selling, trading, taking profit with swing trading. That's absolutely the most valuable aspect. We've had a lot of really good trades and you should have no problem making your money back multiple times over again. If you're not fully satisfied, I will give you a refund, so you got nothing to lose. You'll also get access to all of the education that we've got over there, so you can become a much better investor. So if that's something you're interested in, come over and join us. I would love you for that, and I think you'll love it as well. Real quick, guys, come follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I'm going to be posting really actively on there. It's just so much easier to send out an update or a post on those than make a full video on it. So if you want a more, closer, like everyday, multiple times a day updates, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I would love that, and I would really appreciate it. So definitely do that. There's also a tip link down in the description, guys. If you want to support the channel and show me some love, you can either just, show me some love with a tip, or you can also do a request. So I'm doing $10 requests. If you want to do that, I will make a full video with a breakdown analysis on the fundamentals or the technicals, whatever you want to see, and I will do it within 24 hours of the tip coming in. So, but let's jump in, guys. I don't want to waste any more of your time. I love you all so much. Thank you for your support. Day one squad, I love you. But guys, I want to give you an update on Xpeng. I've had a few people ask me about it and where I see it going. They just barely had their tech day where they unveiled a couple of, updates or, kind of takeaways we'll go over. I also want to go over the chart and kind of give you my thoughts on where I see Xpeng going in the coming months, up until the end of the year. And I'll show you what I'm doing with our Tesla trade. Right there, guys, there's the value from the Patreon. I sent out the Tesla trade at $710. Took the trade, sent it out again, letting you guys know that I took it at 735, and it just hit all three targets. So, guys, let's jump in. I'm going to show you the price target upgrade from Bernstein. That's what we'll look at first. As you guys can see here, they got a $57 price target, and they got upgraded from a, outperform to a strong buy, I believe. They've got a lot of confidence in Xpeng, think they're going to do very well. And this is the time of year, guys, where deliveries go up, seasonality comes in, so they start selling more vehicles. And I think that, this is going to be a record quarter. And I think that Q4 is going to be another record quarter. I would almost be willing to bet that, so last month, September, was a record month. We'll look at that next. I think this, October is going to be a record month, November, and then December. But I'll give you kind of my numbers on what I think they're going to do in Q4 and the last couple of months as far as deliveries goes. You can come read this if you want. It pretty much just breaks down kind of why they think that the $57 price target is justified. I think that's pretty reasonable price target. It's actually right around where my first target is, or my next target of where I think it's going. Real quick, guys, the deliveries for last month in September was milestone for them. They hit the most deliveries that they've ever had. In some of the other videos we've made, guys, I remember when I was saying if they can continue to grow at this pace, they're going to do really well. Obviously 2020, was not that big of a year for deliveries for them. So when you see these like 200% increase year over year, not that impressive. We want to focus on the month over month and quarter over quarter, which they still did very well. As you can see here, guys, Q3 was 48% quarter over quarter, not even year over year. It was 200% year over year. You can see here, guys, highest ever monthly deliveries in September with 10,412. I believe they did 8,000 last month, so really nice increase there. The company also achieved quarterly record of 25,666 deliveries in Q3, which was 48% quarter over quarter, 200% year over year. And then the year-to-date total deliveries reached 56,404, which is a rise of 300% year over year. Guys, they're doing really well. I do want to kind of give you my thoughts on the numbers that I see coming over the next 3 months. I think Q3, they could potentially see upwards of 35 to 40,000 deliveries, even maybe higher, in Q3. Again, Q3, Q4 is their biggest, quarters of the entire year because seasonality. Q4, like I said, 35 to 40,000 deliveries. I actually think in the month of December, they could potentially do 15,000 deliveries, maybe even more. I'm not quite sure. We're going to have to kind of wait and see. But if you think about it, going from August to September, they did 8,000 to 10,000. Not quite sure what they've done in October yet, but it's coming up here in the next couple of weeks. So 8,000 to 10,000. That would go, 10,000 to 12,000, 12,000 to 14,000, 14,000 to 16,000, from October, November, December. Now, obviously, it's not that easy. Things change, things happen. But guys, keep in mind, we've been seeing a chip shortage over the last year, year and a half, and they've been navigating it very, very well. In their tech day, they kind of came out with 4 main, takeaways. They came out with the Xpilot 3.5, which is pretty much the autonomous driving for inner cities. You still have to have a human in there and you still have to intervene. It's not full autonomous yet, but it can navigate around the cities, change lanes, accelerate, decelerate, things like that. So really cool. Again, these guys are going after the tech-centric younger demographic. That's why I like them so much. That whole smart EV is kind of their moneymaker, kind of their full pitch. Next thing they unveiled in the tech day was the fast chargers. So according to them, they can charge 125 miles in less than 5 minutes with their new fast charging system. I don't know how true that is or what the consistency of that is. And they didn't announce when they will have those fast chargers out, but something to look forward to there. Their Norway vehicle, now that they are out there in Norway delivering vehicles, is actually costing more than it is in China. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Third thing, guys, was the flying vehicle. That is insane. If you have not seen that yet, definitely go look that up. It's actually a flying car that can drive on land and it can also fly around. They kind of, talked about how it would navigate cities and things like that. The flying car is one of their affiliates, actually. It's not them directly, but they are backing them, and that's something to look forward to. It's crazy where the automotive industry is going. Over the next couple of years, we could see a just massive change in how it all works and how it all runs. Obviously, combustible engines are not just going to be, taken off the road in the next couple of years. They're still going to be there. I mean, we've got cars driving around that are 10, 15, 20 years old, even older. And I'm not even talking about like classic restored cars. I'm talking about like the 94, Honda Civic. It's going to be very challenging to get those all off the road. But I think as we get autonomous driving within the next 10 years, we could see full autonomy, all the cars communicating with each other, no traffic, things like that. Really cool stuff coming. And then the last thing was a robotic pony that they announced and talked about. They're a robotics, whatever. I'm not putting too much, merit on that. Something that was kind of cool. You can go look that up if you want. Overall, guys, they're doing very well with deliveries. I've had a few people ask me where I see Xpeng going now that they've been making a little bit of a run. So I want to break down the charts, give you my thoughts, give you my price target. But let's first take a look at the Tesla trade. So as you guys can see here, absolutely massive rally. I'm sure you guys have all seen it. I sent this out back here at $710 on the third, valley. Right as it was making that third valley, it came back to back test that 200-day moving average, and we waited until it came up to retest, this inflection zone. Guys, I want to mention something. I was looking in the Webull comment section last night. I don't trade on Webull. I was just kind of looking through the comment section on some of the stocks over there. Be careful with that comment section. A lot of people don't know what they're talking about over there. If you want to learn technical analysis, guys, the number one thing you should be focusing on is support resistance, supply and demand, inflection points, critical levels. That's really the value when you're looking at a chart. Technical analysis is not knowing where one thing is going. It's giving yourself a greater than 50-50 chance that it's going to go one way or the other. It's just developing an edge and kind of giving yourself an idea of where you think it's going to go. When I send out a trade, it's not I know it's going to go this way. It's, this is what I think it could potentially do, and I think it's got a greater than 50-50 chance of doing that. Next thing I want to say, guys, if you're trading with at least a 3-to-1 risk reward ratio, all you have to do is win 33% of your trades. You can literally lose a majority of your trades and still make money if you only take trades with a minimum of 3-to-1 risk reward. And I usually do it on my first target. That's it. So my first target is always 3-to-1 at least. Look at the third one, 7-to-1, guys. So as long as you do that, as long as you have a strict, plan that you follow, you have a great process, and you have a minimum 3-to-1 risk reward, you don't have to be right every time. But if you want to learn this stuff, if you want to learn how to identify, if you want to learn how to, map out these charts, come over to the Patreon. I send out charts all day, every day, and explain what I'm looking at so you can learn how to identify stuff like this. But guys, it was really easy. We had the big massive run up. We had the initial candle high close from back in January, that started that inflection zone. That's where it was manufactured. But you can see, guys, pullback, had the, the beautiful bullish shark, harmonic, and then the classic accumulation structure, 3 rising valleys, Bolkowski, structure. And then once it broke that, third valley, or the third peak, the highest peak of the structure, and back tested that inflection zone from the high that was manufactured back here, it went nuts, guys. That's what happens when assets break inflection zones and back test them. They do stuff like this. So that's why I say that support resistance, supply demand is way, way more important than, a symmetrical triangle or stuff like that. Those are the things you should be focused on, is your critical levels. Once it back tested that, guys, I mean, it was off to the races. We ran up and didn't even have any issue with the all-time high. We had one little pullback. It ran up, kind of got rejected, and then just the next couple of days absolutely went nuts. And I did see some stuff talking about a gamma squeeze. That very well could be true. Before we move on to Xpeng, what I pretty much did, guys, is I took 33% of my position off at the first target, 33% off at the second target, and then at the third target, a lot of people were like, I don't want to take profit. What if it keeps running? Guys, when you're trading, you've got to follow your plan. The market does not reward traders that leave money on the table. You leave money on the table, the market will take it back from you. So what I did is, and every time I hit a target, guys, I pull my stop loss up to either right at that the previous target or right below it. And especially when I'm in the first target, if I get about halfway to the target, I always pull my stop loss into break even or right in the money just a little bit. I don't do it if it's like right above the, the entry point, because obviously it could just back test again. And then you accidentally get stopped out on a little bit of a wick. But once you get far enough off the first target, always be moving your stop up if you watch your stocks closely. If you don't watch them very closely, then just, kind of leave it where it's at until you hit your first target, then move it up. Last thing you want to do is move your stop up too early, get stopped out, and then it runs to all-time highs. So, guys, when you're up here at all-time highs, when you're in price discovery, you got to take profit. So I took, at the last part of the third target, I had 33% of my position on. I took about 15%. So I had half of my last target, essentially a little bit more. And then I set a limit order up at the 1414 fib extension, and it filled me the very next day. So I'm completely out of this for a swing trade, have all my profit, taken. I do still have Tesla in my long-term dollar cost average portfolio. But as far as my swing trade, I'm out. So if you are in this, if you took it as a trade and you haven't taken profit yet, absolutely take it, or at the very least, pull your stop loss, way up here and make sure that you don't lose any of that money or leave it on the table. So, but guys, let's jump over and take a look at Xpeng and we'll wrap it up. So we've looked at this chart, guys, big, beautiful bullish harmonic, kind of a Bartley mix between a bat and a Gartley. We had the big run up that started in May. We had the first low, second low, and then a rally from, $23, $24 all the way up here to the high point of 47.98, about $48. Then we've been trading sideways, guys, kind of getting this down sloping consolidation. Call it a wedge, call it whatever you want. It's just back testing, creating support at this inflection zone. One thing I want to say, guys, there's kind of a saying out there that's like, the bigger the base, the higher in space. It's just saying the longer that it creates a base, the higher it could potentially go. The way I see it, guys, is you had multiple tests at this level, and then you broke support, you broke critical support, but then you had the spring, back test to spring. It tested it for a couple of days and has made really quick moves off of that, broke the demand line, and now you're making some really nice moves, guys. Now you're kind of back testing the initial high from this, overall structure. I think it's also a candle high close from back here and a wick low. But I think once you kind of, hold support for long enough, right at that 45.75 level, your next target is $57.55 to $60. Now we are playing this big, harmonic. We are not playing the wedge, guys. Your aggressive targeting on a big harmonic like this is the B, C, and A. Those are your aggressive price targets. Now that you've already gotten to B and you're almost to C, if you do not own this, guys, this is not where you buy stocks. It is dab smack in the middle of a range. So if you are not currently in this asset, I would not be buying it. Until you either get up here and you break this area and back test it, and then you want to set a stop loss underneath the inflection zone, you can do that. But guys, these are deep value areas for short sellers. These are not value areas where you want to go long on a stock. Where you want to go long is back here or down here after the asset had back tested it, showed bullish indication that it was going to continue moving. So up here in the middle, I wouldn't do it. Wait, be patient, let the trade come to you, and you'll do very well. Guys, I think absolutely $60 is the next target. I think earnings is coming up here in the next couple of days, and I think we could absolutely see Xpeng hit that $60 mark. Once we hit that $60 mark, you break it, you back test it, you may see some price stall right around here, but as soon as you break 60, 74, I think, is absolutely the next spot it's going to go to. And from there, you're in price discovery, and it could go much higher from there. One thing I wanted to point out was this potential bearish bat pattern, which is creating some confluence here. If you notice, from the 886, if we take a look here. So this would be obviously just, potential. This is not, confirmed yet, but this is just something that I like to look at. This would go to the 886. So right now you are in the C to D leg. On a bat pattern, according to Scott Carney, once you break the 50% mark of the structure in the C to D leg, he calls it a bat action magnet move. Very high probability that the asset is going to go to the 886 pattern completion zone. This is a bearish structure. So you hit that 886, you sell off, but in bullish conditions, bearish patterns underperform. You back test this level before going to much higher prices. So you absolutely could see some stuff like this and go to much higher prices, price discovery, and see a lot, higher areas. Guys, if you notice here, this wouldn't really make sense, right? You're right in the middle of a range, but you do have this wick high rejection from back here in November. So that actually does make a little bit of sense. You could even see it go a little bit higher or, a little bit lower, just get rejected at this area. But I think that this is a really good chance of where Xpeng is going in the short to near term. $68 is where I'm thinking. If you take your fib extensions, I can kind of give you some price targets here. That is an 886 retracement from the high to low. That is a deep retrace. That's usually where assets go, and that's where major reversals can happen. So you have a big major, reversal here. Again, that's value areas for short positions, and you break support, you're going to see, back down to where we're at today, if not a lot lower. But I think 886 is where we're headed. In bullish conditions, it may outperform and continue to go. But if you break all-time highs, the 113, the 113% retrace at 81, 1272 at 88.56 or 56 cents, and then the 1414 at 95, and the 1618 at 106. Obviously, that's a long ways from now, guys. It's got to break all-time highs first, but I just wanted to point that out so you kind of know where it could be potentially going. Really good looking asset, guys. It's doing very, very well. You've got bullish divergence on your MACD. You're building positive momentum. Your RSI is sitting at 65, so you're right at the lower end of the bullish control zone. You just had your highest level of positive momentum since clear back here in June. Your oscillator starting to reset. I think if everything holds at the current levels, you could see much higher prices. You can see that the RSI has gotten, clear up here, as high as almost 90 at times in the past. So, I don't use this as overbought or oversold. I use it for, divergence. So that's it for today, guys. As I said before, next target $60, 68, 74, and then price discovery from there. I absolutely think that can happen, but we'll just have to see. Come follow me on the social medias at Instagram and Twitter. Come join us at the Patreon. This video is for entertainment purposes only. I am not a licensed stockbroker. Always do your own research and due diligence, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Let me know down in the comments what you think about my price targets, and I'll see you there. Peace.